I really appreciated a comment recently by one of the viewers who was telling me that they just appreciate the way I do this, the way I talk about stuff at the channel, because I give it to you guys straight. I just tell you what I think, and I'm not trying to overhype things that aren't hype or underplay things that are kind of cool and stuff like that. So give it to you straight sort of thing, but that doesn't always work. Like this right here. That's the Lebron 17 infrared. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan. I don't know which side it'll be on. I think it'll be right here is where you can see the white swoosh. And I didn't really like the white swoosh. I found it kind of jarring against the black and the red of the shoe. The rest of the shoe was great, but that white swoosh just meh. And I got hammered. I got absolutely pummeled in the comments by people like, you don't know what you're talking about. How dare you insult this beautiful shoe? But you know, that's what happens when you tell people what you think of things, and you do things, you know, just the way you think they are. Now, for the record, here's the Harlem Fashion Row 17s, one of my favorite shoes of all time. So the 17s were definitely a beautiful shoe, and we did the 17 lows a lot as well. Now we're here doing an 18 low, and it's the second 18 low. I'll throw up the Fireberries, which were the first one I did, and I think they were the first colorway to drop in the lows. And then here we are with this, the University Red. There's a lot to talk about. I titled this video something like "Not to 60 like a Ferrari" with the Nike Lebron 18 low University Reds, and there's a little, you know, something in there about that Ferrari. You guys might already know about it, but so hopefully a little secret, little element in the shoe that people aren't actually picking up on yet, because it's kind of hidden away, but it has got that sort of feel of Ferrari. So we'll get into that, and we'll also get into all the reasons why this is one of the best 18 lows that you're ever going to see, because it's an absolutely beautiful shoe. It's in that bread colorway, and it's just all put together in the way that you definitely want to see your 18 lows. So with that being said, let's get into this and take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Nike Lebron 18 low University Red. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 sneaker channel. Tokyo Butter 23 sneaker channelです。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo Chapter, I bring content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And by every single day, I mean all 7 days of the week. Don't take breaks for the weekends. Haven't missed a single day in more than 800 days. All the way through on YouTube, and just keep on trucking out the content. Yesterday was a great pair of shoes, the popcorn Air Force Ones and Blazers. And there's a nice little detail in there about how they might actually turn out to be one of those rare "it's a mistake" on the shoe. And if you get your hands on a shoe that's got a mistake in it, that can turn out to be a big deal. And then here we are today with the Lebron 18 low University Red. Don't know why they're not calling it bread. They didn't call those A17 highs bread. They called them infrareds. And then here we are with these University Reds. But it's basically a bread sneaker. And when you get a bread sneaker, you can't go far wrong, especially when there's a big name like LeBron attached to it. And this one's pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of the lows that came with the 17s and the 18s. I looked at quite a lot, but they just look like a standard sneaker to me. There doesn't seem to be that much going on there, whereas the 17 highs were absolutely iconic. And the 18 highs are starting to grow on me with that kind of two-tone effect. I'll throw up something behind me here so you can see the heel and the front area of the foot, and give me that kind of two halves to the shoe, which is kind of important because it's one of the main features on the lows. And we'll bring back up these University Reds. And what I want to focus in on is the midsole, because the midsole has that clear designation between the front half with the React, I think I'm right in saying, materials on the front half, and then the back half with the zoom in there. But that kind of half and half duality isn't replicated on the upper. It's just kept for the midsole of the shoe. So if we focus on that first, and then zoom in on the back end of these guys and that air unit on there, because that's probably the biggest hit of red on the shoe, is in that air unit. It's a deep, strong red in there. There's other places on the shoe where it's a more vibrant red, but in that air unit, the full-on 300, what would we say, is it 270? I'm going back to my Air Max 93s for that 270 air unit. So it's a 270 air unit on the back end of these guys, and embedded deep within it is a very deep red to go with that University Red feel for the shoe. And since we're on the midsole, we might as well go straight to the outsole and have a look at what's going on there. And to be honest, it's one of the nicest features of the shoe, because it does a great job of trading up between three different things: the black, the red, and the translucence. And what's basically going on is the front and the back half are split between that black, solid, part of the shoe, and then the back half with that translucent effect. And then in that translucent effect, you've got the reds as well to come through for that university red colorway. So you've got three things sort of playing off each other there, which isn't always the case in Lebron 18 lows, but it's a very fine feature, very nice look at the bottom of the shoe. Now, if we go up to the top of the shoe, there are some interesting things going on, but to be honest, not that many. For example, let's have a look at the toe right here to give you an idea of the materials that are going on in this shoe. But it's very, very simple. And just to sort of, again, you know, I said it before about the 17 lows and the 18s now as well. It's just a standard sneaker. There just isn't that much going on in the shoe to get me all excited. And like I say, the materials on the toe box here is a great example of that, you know, just a sneaker. But if we're already looking at the toe box, we might as well go out and look really high up. And what I'm going to start off with is we'll start with a look at the tongues and the branding up there, because that's a sort of subtle element of the red in the red branding at the top of the tongues. But as you pan down from that into the lacing system, you can see two kind of, I don't know if we're going with triangles or arrows. I don't know which one you want to go with, but definitely as far as colour goes, this is where you've got that pop in red instead of that deep kind of almost maroon red on the rest of the shoe. And you're coming down into those sort of eyelet sections, and you're into that the lacing system there, but hopefully panned out, you'll be able to see that there's almost like a cross that runs through the middle of both shoes. It was very evident on the Fire Berries. And what I'll do is that if it isn't clear on the green screen here, that cross that runs through the middle of the shoe, I'll bring back those Fire Berries where it's very easy to see, and you can see that cross, and then back to these shoes as well. So looking down from above, you've got that really popping red in the middle of the lacing system there. A little thing that I think they missed a beat on is if we go to a lateral side here, we'll start with the swoosh just very quickly, that outline swoosh. Not very much going on there, and this is one of those places where basically, to me, they've taken out a lot of the detailing so that they can save money and bring a shoe in a more affordable way to people. So instead of having an embroidered or a textured or a material swoosh, it's just a white outline swoosh, and it's only on the lateral side, no swooshes on the medial side. But what I really am interested in on this side of the shoes is kind of panning towards those laces on there, and you can see a very jagged kind of effect where the lacing system meets the upper of the shoe. And I think that's a place where they could have put some red in there just to get a bit more red on top of the black, because let's be honest, it's a very, very black shoe. I don't mean it has to be all red, I just mean like if you could get a second sort of layer that gives you an idea of a thin red line around that jagged edge, that would give a sort of border to it, a bit of definition to it. It would have fit the colourway really, really nicely. And then the last thing I want to do before we get to Ferrari is to go around to the laces on these guys, not the laces, the heel on these guys, and you'll see on the back there again, we're back to that kind of deep maroon, a deep red branding, the crown sitting on top of the white branding, sitting on top of the black heel on this shoe. But again, like I say, that deeper red instead of that popping vibrant red. So that's kind of a look at the whole shoe, all the different parts of it. The only thing left to do is to get into that Ferrari thing that I was talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it up and just go and have a look down on the insoles of these guys. In fact, I think I've got a picture of the insoles removed, and there's a weird kind of jagged edge along the medial side of the insoles, which you know, is interesting to me. I haven't had these in hand, so I don't know what it's doing on the inside, but a weird kind of jagged edge there that's hopefully showing up on the green screen. But more important than that is the colours and that dunk man in the disc there with a very sort of yellow feel, and it just looks very much like that kind of prancing stallion that is the signature of the Ferrari line, and that Ferrari yellow there is unmistakable, and I can't imagine for a second, for even a millisecond, that that's an accident. There must be some kind of tie-up coming there. Maybe it's a hint to something coming in the future, that LeBron's going to do some kind of tie-up with Ferrari, which would be absolutely fire. The king of the basketball court tying out with the king of the road would be quite an incredible thing to see, and I think these insoles speak into that, and there's definitely something going on there, and the yellow, especially that vibrant Ferrari yellow that you'd associate with the badge or with the alternative Ferrari colour as opposed to the sort of cherry red. So watch the space, keep an eye out for that 0 to 60 and see if something's going on between LeBron and the Ferrari line. For now though, that's pretty much it for this video today. Just checking through with this LeBron 18 low. It's a nice looking shoe, a very fine looking shoe, but it's just a shoe. It's not got that kind of iconic, more than a shoe feel that sometimes you get with LeBrons, especially those 17s that I loved so very much. For now, though, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I hope you appreciate this look at this LeBron 18 Low University Red, which is due to come just around the corner in about 10 days' time on March the 11th. Hopefully, if you're heading for looking to get these guys in hand, you'll score yourself a W. For now, though, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content, and I'll just do what I do at the end of every single video, which is remind you that I do this every single day, and that means you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.